Okay, when you attend the interview, the first question what they ask is, can you tell me something about yourself? Right. So yeah, so if you help the interviewer to understand a brief about yourself, that will be good. So that's what they expect from you. Okay. So though they have seen your profile, if you can give them the gist of what you are and what you have done overall, in the last 4 years of your experience or 5 years of experience, and also what is your strengths and weakness when it comes to the skill set, that is what they expect. Why don't someone can, how about Abhijit? Are you there? Abhijit is not there. He's the one recently cleared the interview. I thought of asking them to break the ice or start explain about himself. Okay, so why don't someone can open up and say, say something about yourself. How about Rashmi? Why don't you talk, no? So yeah, there is nothing wrong. Okay, see, this is basically to help you all to, fine tune or identify the gap, where you lack, where you need to improve, improve all those things. That's all. Okay, we will help you to fine tune here. If see, the first question will be like, okay, tell me something about yourself. They'll ask you. So probably you can open up something. Let's assume that, I'm, let's say, Abhijit. Okay. So in this case, if, let's, to answer to the question of the interviewer, I say, just a quick intro about me. I'm Abhijit. I carry close to 4 years of total experience. And currently I employed as a lead data analyst, or you can say you're a data analyst or BA consultant for a leading US based startup company or US based startup company located in Bangalore or Pune. So during my stint with a couple of projects, I got an opportunity to work in the industries like retail and banking. My capacity ranges from writing basic to advanced level of SQL queries to perform data analytics, perform ETL transformations using Power Query Editor, and sometimes I used to write stored procedures in SQL Server to do the data transformation. And also I involved extensively in designing the dimensional data modeling in one of the projects. And apart this, it is, the typical responsibilities like creating reports and creating dashboards and publishing the same on the cloud, and also responsible for defining roles for various stakeholders within our org. So that is pretty much about me. You can say it this way, okay? Or you can, prepare yourself, okay? Sometimes you make it very simple. Okay, you can say, hi, I'm Rajesh. I carry close to 4.5 years of experience or 4 years experience. Okay, guys, please remember only when you say that you are 4 or 4.5 years experience, they'll call you for the interview. I was breaking my head, telling the same thing with other people, even Abhijit. Okay, and you put 1 year experience, you did not get any call. Okay, and after making changes, right, showing 4 or 4.5 years experience, they started getting a lot of calls. And then you can say, I carry close to 4 to 4.5 years of experience. And I started my analytics journey way back in 2019 or 18. You can say 18, right? So 4 years means 18. 18. But initially, I started performing data analytics in Excel, and gradually I started using the SQL queries to do the data analytics. And some cases we had to write some packages or stored procedures in SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, to perform some aggregations, data aggregations, and also to perform some kind of data transformation. We have used the package. Don't worry, the stored procedure. We will see that in the next session. Probably day after tomorrow we'll have a SQL Server. Those cannot attend, you can ignore it. Okay, those of you can attend. Say, I want to finish up because the interview, I'll have to start floating your profile. Okay, based on, see, what I will do is this Wednesday onwards, we'll call randomly each one of you, and we will have some kind of mock interview. Again, based on your comfort level. If you say, no, I'm very busy, it is up to you. Okay, you can tell the date. So and so date, I'm okay. Or so and so time, I'm okay to take up the mock interview. I will I will do the mock interview first round. Second interview, I will arrange someone else to do that. And third level, so in the second level and first level and second level of mock interview will find out the gap, from your, from the during the interactions with you people, and then we'll give you the feedback where you need to improve, and we'll fine tune it. Okay, and then what you do is, and then we will see the second round. If you are good, then what I do is I'll take up your profile with the prospective employees, and I would suggest you guys like Abhijit. See, I have arranged the interview with TCS and some other startup companies, and he also posted his profile in the Naukri. Okay, and profile also we will prepare it and we'll send it to you. Okay, and but you need to send your profile first. We need the basic information about your, the basic thing, like basic informations. Okay, first you need to send your profile, and I'll ask our people to prepare your resume, and then we'll share it with you. So wherein you can find all the roles and responsibilities, everything. So it should appear pretty decent. Okay, and it should give the impression, it should give the confidence to the employer that, hey, you really worked in the real time scenario and real projects. Okay, better we will call him. It is worthwhile spending with these guys, spending time with these guys. Okay, a lot of interviewers, including myself, got frustrated. Some cases we find the profile is good, but when we talk to the candidates, they are not up to the mark. See, end of the day, it is not the interviewer's intention to put you down or rejecting your profile. And if you if you don't have good knowledge, right, and if I recruit you blindly, end of the day, you and me have to suffer. It's all real-time scenario, real-time environment. Customers bought expensive servers. They hired, the expensive servers on Amazon cloud, on, Azure cloud. Okay, so the thing is, they don't, and a lot of jobs are running. They don't. If any one of the job fails, all the dependent jobs will also fail. It causes a major havoc. So that is the reason why it's something like, if you recruit a fresher cardio surgeon, and if you put him the very first day to operate a critical patient, what will happen? The same thing. Okay, they don't want to take a risk. That's the reason why they wanted to evaluate how strong the candidates are. But minimum experience they expect is 4 years, meaning 3 to 4 years. Okay, and most of my students in the past, those cleared the interview, right? So they got they mentioned 4 to 5 years. Some candidates they mentioned 5 years. Okay, this is how you need to open up. Okay, so you can give a quick background about yourself when they ask you, tell me something about yourself. And the next question is, they will see your profile, and they say, I could see that you worked in three projects, but you are saying that you have 4 years experience. How come in the 4 years experience, you just worked in 3 projects or 4 projects only, 3 or 4 projects only? Okay. So you can tell them the last 3 projects were, so let's say you mentioned 4 projects, okay? And last 3 projects were more of like support and support enhancement kind of projects. So what happened in the case of support and enhancement? So they have something called production environment in the customer system. Okay, and you take any customer, there's something called production system. It's a live environment. It's a very, very sensitive area. No one will have access to this. Okay, so you have something called development environment. This is where developers, we work here to, we create the reports, everything, and we publish it on cloud. Even in the cloud, there is a folder called workspace called dev and QA, and we have something called UAT. 3 different folders will be there. We develop all the reports here, and then we'll test it, including the dashboard, everything on cloud, right? So we test it out. So we do the unit testing, and everything is fine. In case of any bugs or any issues, right, we'll fix it here itself, and then we'll push it to the QA. So as a developer, you will not even have access to push the report files and the data and all to your QA folder. So we have, there will be a separate team for release management. They are the one responsible for migrating all your developed reports, all the things to your QA folder, and there they'll do the functionality test. Okay, they do some kind of functionality test, and they will see all the functionalities are working fine. So, for example, you have revenue or net margin. So, what formula that used it, and they will apply. So, let's say in your report you have a slicer. They select. They apply the filter with various combination of the various combination of filters. They apply it using your slices, and they'll go and test your net margin formula, everything. For example, you have some month like January, February, you have a slicer month on 12 months. You'll be there in your slicer, and another slicer is some region, right? They select a specific region and they select the specific month, and sometimes your date thing. Okay, so 1 to 31 days, right? So 1 to first 15 days, what is the net margin, all the thing, everything they'll check it out. Basically the business logic, whatever you use it, is correctly working or not. And also they will check, are there any cosmetic errors, so like naming convention, all the things, whether you followed it or not, everything they'll test it. And everything goes well, they will move it to the UAT folder. All these project, the entire project related reports will be, let's say, in your project you have 5 to 6 members are there, and each members are responsible for developing, let's assume that hypothetically 2 reports. Okay, and let's say 6 people, 6 into 12, 12 reports needs to be developed as part of supply chain analytics project. So, and again, let's say 2 report, and you are responsible for creating 2 dashboards also. Okay, and okay, 2 dashboard and 12 reports, something like that. 12 reports and 2 dashboards needs to be created. So that is what, as part of the supply chain analytics project, you need to do that. So, right. So what you do is, overall 14 objects will be there. What are the objects? Reports, dashboards, and your data, everything. Okay. And then everything is fine here. Once you test, once you develop it, and once you complete the unit testing, and then this entire objects will get pushed to the QA by the release management team. And the next step is, once the functionality test has been done here, and if they find any bug, and they will raise it in a bug tracking tool, and then you need to fix whatever the bugs that are raised in your bug tracker against your name. Okay, let's say you are responsible for creating 2 reports and 2 dashboards. Okay, they'll specify the report 1, report 2, dashboard 1, dashboard, the actual name. Okay, and then they'll specify the author, your name, and what are the defects, right? So and then you are responsible for fixing all the defects or bugs, and then again the QA people will go and check it whether you have closed all these defects, and are there these defects got fixed or not. They'll go and check it. If everything goes well, they will push it to user acceptance testing folder. Here the end user, like a reporting user, for example marketing manager of Walmart or the VP of Walmart, they come and test it out. If is that everything working fine, and if everything goes fine, or during the UAT phase, suddenly they come up with some other new requirement. Okay, they call CR. Okay, change request. They raise some change request to create new reports, or in the existing report itself, they come up with some more changes. No, you can remove this column, you can add this column, or probably in the existing formula you can use include change this formula. Okay, we want the formula to be used like this, because while doing the UAT, they would have discussed with other management people. They found this, oh, screen is not visible, guys, so no one has told me. Thanks, Lavanish. Okay, so in case you don't see screen, right, please let me know. Okay, so this is your development environment, this is your PA environment, UAT, and production. Okay, so this is your folder name. Okay, workspaces, development workspace, PA workspace, UAT workspace, and your production workspace. And here, let's that's what I just repeated because screen was not visible, right? So as part of the supply chain analytics project, your customer, US customer, they told you very clearly. So in this project, we need 12 reports to be developed and 2 dashboards are required. So what, let's say you work for TCS company, right? The manager, So they do some kind of estimation to develop these 12 reports into dashboards, how many people are required. For example, the manager come up with some headcount, like, we need in total 6 people, and each people 2 days. And again, the customer will give you the dates. So I need everything to be done in weeks time. Okay, we cannot afford, or sometimes they say 20 business days, BDs. Okay, within 20 business days, all these things to be tested, everything, and then the go live date is probably the 25th of right. So 25th August is a go live date. So everything goes well, all the testing, everything, right? It has to be launched in your production system by 25th August. Very simple. As a developer, you are going to develop the reports and you test it. That's all. Rest of them will be taken care by somebody else. You don't have to worry. So during the UAT or QA, if they find any bugs in your report, they will raise a ticket, or we have something called bug tracking tool. There, they will put it everything. You need to be very alert that time. Go and check how many defects are there against your name, author. Okay, you are the author for your reports and dashboards, whatever you created. Go and check there. Okay, these are the defects. Are they? Go and fix it, and then you say yes, closed. Okay, and fix to fix. Yes, you need to select. Change the status from blank to yes, yes. So what that is, once you specify yes, the QA team will go and check these defects, whether it's been really fixed or not, or are there any other issues comes up. Okay, anything else surfaced while fixing these two things, they'll go and check it. If everything goes well, then they will push it to another folder. All these reports, like the 14 reports, so 12 reports and 2 dashboards developed by 6 developers, right? That one will be pushed to the UAT. So everyone, from the user acceptance team, they go and test it again from this side. And if they find any gap, or if they missed out telling certain business logic, they will come back. So in that case, again, you need to push your report back to a development environment, and then you need to introduce the changes requested by the end users. And then again, it has to go the same process. And then again, it will go to QA and then UAT. And finally, if everything goes well, they do the performance testing year itself. Okay. And finally, it will get pushed to your production. Once it gets pushed to production, it will not be disturbed. Okay. Everything is automated. They use some automated tool to schedule everything. So let's 12, 14, 12 reports and 2 dashboards, right? So these reports, let's assume that it's of the 12 reports, 6 reports are daily summary reports, and 3 reports are weekly, and 3 reports are monthly reports. Okay, of these 12, the data refresh. Okay, so the data refresh, everything will be taken care of automatically. In case of SQL Server, if your source system is SQL Server, data refresh is not required. In case of Excel or JSON file, anything, you use it as a source file, then it requires the incremental refresh also, so that the data will be up to date in these kind of reports. If it is a daily summary report, all all these 6 reports should show daily that specific day data in that report. And weekly, every week beginning, I want to see the, let's this Monday, I want to see the previous week sales performance, something like that. Okay. And then likewise, 3 reports, 3 reports that needs to get refreshed on a weekly basis. And similarly, 3 reports, the senior management, they will view only these 3 reports on a month-on-month basis only, or not on a daily basis, not on a weekly basis. Some reports they will view it on a monthly basis. So every once in a month, if you refresh this reports, that is more than 7, everything is automated. Okay, from the source system, this is your source system. Source system, this is where your Excel file, comma, separate, or SQL Server, these are my source system. So we have some tool. What it does is it will pick up this data on a daily basis, and then put it in a staging area or something like that. And then what it does is our script will do the once, let's every day by 7 a.m. the data files are available in staging area. Staging area is something like a temporary area or some folder. Okay. And our job has to go and check whether all these files are available, data file. If the files are available, then what happens is the job will get kick started. Which job? The ETL job. Okay, the ETL job, actually the extract part is over. The transformation will be done. So it will combine certain tables and everything, or it append the data set, and then finally you will get the pre-processed data in your data warehouse environment. So I'm talking about, let's say in the case of typical SQL server, receiver source system is a typical SQL server, and within this they created a folder, not a folder. Here they created a let's say database called staging, and you have another database called data warehouse. Okay, and here the staging, you will have all the source system files will get pushed here. Okay, and then these files will get appended or meshed, and then the pre-processed data will be pushed to your data warehouse. From the data warehouse, your reports, right? Your reports will go and pick up the data from this database, and then it refresh the visuals in the report canvas. Everything is automated. Okay, for example, every day night by or early morning by 2 a.m., right? All these 12 reports should get refreshed, right? In that case, it is not practical people to stay awake and kick off the jobs by 2 a.m. So everything is, they use some power automate or something, that using which you can automate the job, everything. Okay, you can tell them, so we use power automate, but I did not get an opportunity to do the automation. So everything is taken care by my manager or my project leader. Okay, he's the one responsible for doing the power automate, that too, and the on-site. So what is on-site in US? Okay, US, we have our members, or members were working in US. For example, in the offshore, you have 6 people in the offshore. Okay, and on-site, you tell them we have one on-site coordinator was there from TCS. So in TCS, in total, 7 people are working in this project. Of the 7, 6 people are working in the offshore. Okay, let's say Pune office or Hyderabad office, and one guy, our TCS guy, is working out of the US customer. It's a Walmart or Costco or somewhere. Okay, he's the one responsible for the Walmart senior management, understand the requirements, everything, and then he's the one responsible for explaining the offshore guys about the requirements, and he's the one responsible for everything. Okay, and in a year you have a project manager and all, so you can tell them we don't have a project manager, so we are actually all the knowledge transmission, everything is given by our on-site coordinator. So he's responsible for gathering the requirements, everything from the customer, and then finally he explains the requirements, everything. And our job is to start develop the reports, dashboards. Okay, as soon as we get to know understand the requirements from him. And the next job is, right, we create the reports, everything. Even the automation is not our job. So you need to smartly tell that way. Okay, so automation is not my job. And security, have you involved in any security? So yes, we have done row level security. I'll explain you in today's session what is row level security. Almost all the interview they'll ask it. So okay, static row level security and dynamic row level security is there. Dynamic row level security, you can tell them, yes, the row level security, we know the concept very well. In fact, we used to help our on-site coordinator to define the roles for different stakeholders in the Power BI system. But end of the day, the deployment, everything is taken care by my on-site coordinator. You can smartly tell and get rid of from this, okay? Because you are not administrator. First of all, in real-time scenario, you will not have access to everything. Fine. Now, he is asking you, the interview is asking you, can you tell me something about your current project? Okay. So this is for you people to understand. So based on this itself, they can, as part of screening, they can understand. Initially, they'll ask you how many people were there in your project. 6 people at offshore and 1 at on-site. So then they'll think, oh, this guy seems to be genuine. Good. Okay. How many reports you guys developed? We developed 12 reports and 2 dashboards. And you'll ask, hey, you mentioned 4 years experience or even 3 years experience. Last 3 to 4 years, you worked only in 3 projects or only 4 projects? Yes, sir, because the most of the The previous three companies or three projects, it was like a support and enhancement. See, sometimes what will happen is, let's say you got into supply chain analytics project. Recently, they, TCS recruited you and they put you in the supply chain analytics project. In this project, after you join this, you understood, so you don't have to develop any reports. Already, a lot of reports, they developed it. Everything got deployed on production environment. Okay. So that then why did they recruit me? So what happens is frequently they will come up with some changes. Hey, this is not the logic. Or sometimes they'll ask, so we need to create a new report in addition to that. Hey guys, you need to create two reports. And then for probably after 2 months, again, they'll ask you to create two reports. And so on a daily basis, in case of any job fails, anything, you are supposed to be responsible in terms of fixing them. Okay. And also if they wanted to make changes to the existing report. Listen very carefully. Making changes to the existing report, which are running in the production, you are involved there. And any new request comes in to create a new report, you develop that. Okay, and change in, see, for the change in the any change in the existing report is required. Supposing they want to add a new column in the table, in the source table, SQL Server, they added two new columns. So that two new columns should go into the existing report. That is what change or enhancement. That is called your enhancement. Okay, and then some cases you do this one. So just because they added two columns in an existing report, you need to pick up that report from this the production environment and then go to the development environment folder. Okay, in the development folder, take that report and put it here, and then go to the database. And then you raise a request to the database administrator. Hey, these are the two columns needs to be created. This is what the requirement came up from our on-site coordinator. Okay, so if you need further detail, you can check with them. He will tell you. So once they create the two new columns in your SQL Server table, then in the development environment, you take that report and then you include those two columns and see if there are any business rules needs to be included there. Okay, so you need to include it there, and then what you do is you test it. Everything goes well, then you need to push it to, or someone will push it to the QA. You need to inform them. Hey, I'm done with you need to inform your on-site coordinator. So you will, talk to the customer side, and they will push your code, everything to the QA, and they will do the functionality testing. Okay, so this is called your black box. They use the term called black box testing. Here you don't need to do the white box testing. White box testing. Here they will open your script. They'll ask you to, hey, can you please, see there is a separate, once you develop your report, there will be a call with US customers. Okay, they will ask you, hey, can you open the report? Can you walk me through your code? So on what logic you used to, why you use this font? Okay, is that a requirement dictated by us? And why you have used this logic? And why can't you use different color, font style, font, everything they'll ask you. And if they say, no, why did you use this chart? Why can't you use some other chart, right? So you need to justify that. If they are fine, then everything is fine. Okay, and that is what your white box. White box is you opening your code, and they will review your code, including your code functionality, everything they will review it. Once they find it everything right, then you need to push. Then they will push it to the QA environment. The testing people, they don't know Power BI. They don't know how writing, programming, everything. Okay, DAX functions, how to write. They do not know anything about that, but they will just see your report and they play around with the slices by applying different combination of filters on your report, and they'll keep check it whether the formula is correct, business logic is correctly used or not. Everything is go well, then they will say, hey, go ahead and push it to UAT, and the UAT, the end users will come and check it. Everything goes well. So you might be wondering, just to add two columns in the existing report, do I need to pick up the code from production and I need to push it to dev? And again, yes, you need to do that one. Okay, in the production, you have the latest version, you need to push it here, and then you need to change, make a changes, test it, everything thoroughly, everything goes well, and then you need to put, and then only you need to put it in production. Okay, so this is what we need to do. So, okay, the next question is they'll ask you something like, okay, can you tell me something about your current project? But guys, try to be smart. Don't talk too much. And if you talk too less, also problem. Talking too much is also a problem. So what you need to be right, you need to do is you need to be bit smart. Anything comes to security, anything related to release management, you can tell them that is not my responsibility. It is the responsibility of the management to do everything. Okay, or the release management team has to do everything. You can tell that way, and you can simply say that way. Okay, and okay, tell me something about your current project. Let's okay, you can tell them something like this. Okay, so you can say something like, here is the quick background about the client, the current our customer, and their mission. Walmart is a large fictitious global retail chain located in USA, and you tell everything. Okay, then they are, what is the, what they are, what is your client, and what they, as part of this project, what is their objective. See, American customers, like, they give some project to, they outsource the project to us. Why do they have to outsource the project to us? Do they have more money? No, they wanted to develop something to solve some problems. Okay, so they want to build an automated, scalable, interactive, robust, interactive analytics environment. They want to build an, something robust environment. Okay, and now the pain points. What are the pain points currently that they are undergoing it? Why do they need to do this one first of all? So you need to explain, why they are doing it as part of your problem statement. What kind of problems they are posing it at present. The Walmart customer, the customers have been using a gamut of technologies, and it takes a lot of time and effort for them to deliver insights about the business performance to stakeholders within the expected time. So the delay in getting the reports leads to leads to some kind of business loss. Okay, it has some impact on the business, because if you don't see the report on time, you cannot make the right decision at the right time. And also, a lot of manual tasks are happening currently. This leads to some kind of data inconsistencies and errors in reports and duplication of efforts. You have developed one report, and the other guy also developed the same report. It's waste of time. Okay, and they want to avoid this kind of duplication efforts. And also at present, let's say at present, the reports and data sets used by various reporting users are available in their local system, and it is not shareable on cloud. See what happened in one of the projects, right? The customers, in Walmart or bigger customers, right? So what they do is different locations, they have offices. Something like you have San Jose, you have an office, and you have San Francisco, you have, let's say Walmart, they have their offices, okay, Francisco and Cincinnati. They have different locations in US, they have office, and each location, the way they operate, right? They are operating in a very, each company or each branches, they operate in island. They don't share the information, okay, across the thing. And hence, at one point in time, if you want to know a specific region, north region or south region, west region, what is the total sales, we are not able to get the holistic picture, because the data are available in their local system. It is not available in the centralized system. That is one, that is another big pain. Okay, and right, so there is significant, and also since the data are available locally, there is a significant vulnerability to the security threats. Okay, and these reports are not available on cloud. If these reports are available on cloud, it can be seen by the appropriate stakeholders across the globe at any point in time. Whenever they want to see the report, they should be able to see it irrespective of the location where they are located, so that they can take the timely decision, and then they can, they can do some kind of course correction in case something goes wrong. Or if they think, instead of using this strategy, we can do something. For example, Instead of piling up all the specific electronic items in the San Jose, we can ship it to San Francisco. We could see that these products we are selling pretty faster in San Francisco than this one. Okay, so the simple thing is, right, you just give a background about your client and why, what is their intention to start this project. Their intention is to build an automated, scalable, interactive environment, and why they want to do it. So these are the current problem. Okay, currently they are doing a lot of manual tasks. They are using Excel, and they are using some people they are using ClickView, some people they are using Power BI, some people they are using, most of them they are using Excel. And also, right, and the data are not consistent. There are some issues with the data, and a lot of error in the reports also there. Right, to address all this thing, they wanted to develop. They want to set up the robust and scalable environment. Let's say you are working as a data analyst as part of this retail chain. Okay, so you have been tasked with building out a new Power BI reporting solution that should be error-free and should enable interactive exploratory analysis for stakeholders in your company. What do you mean by stakeholders? Users, okay, in the company. Once the reports and dashboards are built, you will need to publish and distribute this report automatically to the respective stakeholders. Okay, see, you might find it a little bit difficult. Okay, and see, there are guys, they did not even talk in depth about all these things. You can simply say, currently I'm working in a retail chain project, and they have close to 1600 stores in USA, and they kicked off an initiative to build an automated, scalable, robust reports. You can say full stop. Okay. And the reason is currently they are doing a lot of manual tasks, and some cases they are doing some kind of duplication efforts. A lot of errors are there. They want to do everything in Power BI, and then they want to publish it on cloud so that it can be accessible at any time across the globe. Okay, so that the end users can make the decision at the right time. For that purpose, they want us to develop something like that. Anyhow, I'm not going to walk you through all these things. You will be feeling overwhelmed. Okay, so you just give them high level background about your project. That's all. If you talk too much also, it's a problem. Okay, so can you explain your current project? If you explain that much, that is sufficient. Next one is the technical part. They will ask you what is a slicer. So what is a slicer? Slices are on canvas visual filters. So what do you mean by this is my canvas, right? This is my canvas. Using a slicer, I can apply the filter. For example, I just clicked on, this is my slicer. And here, I just drag and drop this. Using slicer, I can apply the filter. If I make a selection on a specific item in this slicer, based on which the data will get refreshed across all the other visuals. See, this data is different. Okay. And okay, instead of this, because I'm using CSW04 here. For example, I just go and select month prefix. Yes, right. So this is my slicer. See, slicer is different, filter is different. So you need to tell them very clearly about this. Okay, so we have a month slicer, for example, January and May alone, if you want to see that, right? So this slicer is on canvas. This is your report canvas. It is sitting on top of your canvas. Okay, we have something else called filter that is different. Okay, that is not sitting on your report canvas. Power BI slices are on canvas visual filters. This is a visual filter. Okay, it is used to provide an easy and more convenient to the end user to filter the visuals based on their preferences. For example, I just want to see the February or March related data alone, I should be able to say if you give the slicer. Whereas if you give if you give a report without slicer, what will happen? It is a static report. So they cannot dynamically, or they don't have the flexibility to see different months sales performance. Okay, that is one pain if you give the static report. And if you give the 1 year, the entire year consolidated sales, and if they want to see specific month sales, they will not be able to say. If you have a slicer which sits on top of your canvas, which is nothing but the slicer, right? So they have the flexibility to change it, everything. Okay, they can make different selections. Okay, this is slicer. You understood slicer? What is a slicer? Slicer is an on-canvas visual filter. You can say that way. Okay, different definitions are there. You can. I think this is a very simple one. If you say just a slicer, that is not something they'll expect you. Then why do I need to use slicer? Okay, the next question is let's say there is a scenario-based question. They ask a question something like that. Let's say I have a question wherein a specific report has 3 pages. Or let's say I have, in this case, 6 pages are there. Let's assume that this is my page 1. Okay, this is my page 1. Okay, in the first page, when I apply a filter, well, let's say when a user applies the filter, he wants the same filter to be applied on the other pages also. So what type of filter you use it here? What type of filter you can use it? So I asked this question, filter, what type of filter you can use it? All the pages, let's if you apply the filter on this page, right? Filter, it affects all, okay, Shweta, it affects all visuals on that page, all pages, okay? Filters on all pages, you can use it. Okay, the user, right, they don't want to use all pages. They don't use, so they want to have, see, let's say, they are using a slicer here. I'll make it a bit clear now. So I'm using a slicer here. Using a slicer, whatever the filter, or whatever the selection that I make it in the first page, the same thing has to be cascaded across other pages. How do I do that? Okay, this is correct. If I don't use a filter, sorry, slicer, what you're saying is correct. Filters on all pages you can use it, right? So you have 3 types of filters. One is visual level filter, and filter on page, and page level filter, and all pages. These are the 3 types of filters. In the interview, they'll ask you this question also. My question is, I'm not using filter here, filter pane. I'm using a slicer here. I'm using a slicer here. Yeah, so using sync slicer, very good, Rashmi, right? So we need to use sync slicer. So you can watch my video. We already discussed about the slicer. You can, you can create a sync slicer. How do you create that? You can go to the view tab here, and then you can see the sync slices. When you click on this, right? Look here, when you click on this, you can do this one. See here, this one is available in stacked and clustered chart. So it is visible. The slicer is available here. And if you want the same, this one should be available across the other pages, simply select all the pages where you need the same slices to be displayed without physically copy pasting it there. Okay, and then synchronize. Okay, and also synchronize these pages, which means if I select January and June, the same filter will get applied on role playing page. Here on the role playing page, okay, I need to click on this one. Let me just select this thing. On this role playing, it is not working. Okay, some problem. Okay, on this, there is a sync slicer. Okay. You need to click on this to expand it. Okay, first you need to select this slicer and then go to view ribbon and then select sync slices. You can see this one. So this one is synchronization. not only display the slicers on role playing and line shot and page 4 and CM pages, display the same thing, okay, replicate the same thing, copy, kind of a replication, and synchronize in all the pages, okay. But here stacked and clustered, you don't have to do it explicitly. By default in this page, whatever the filters that whatever the selection you make it in this slide, that will get applied automatically, okay. And for example, even in page 4, if you want this to be synchronized, you can select that way. And if you go to the page 4 and CM, look here, the slicer, did we copy paste it in all the pages? No, right? We started with stacked, and in this page only we created the slicer. But with the help of sync slicer, without manually copy pasting this slicer across the specific pages, we are able to do it, right? Let me just select this, and you can see this. All I did, I just clicked on sync slicers, sync up this slicer, across these pages alone. So sync slicer, to answer this question, sync slicer. What is the difference between slicer and sync slicer? This is the difference, right? So slicer is used to filter the visuals, okay, and in some report there might be multiple pages, like we have seen it earlier. On all those pages, you might need a common slicer. Instead of creating the same slicer in each of the pages manually, we create a slicer in the main page or a specific page, and then we reuse the same slicer using the sync slicer option. Okay, so that the single slicer what we created, that one will get reflected across the specific pages or all the pages. Hope you understood the difference between slicer and sync slicer. And also you can watch my videos, okay, how I did it, okay. And the next one is, what is the difference between highlighting and cross filtering? What is the difference between highlighting and cross filtering? Here, let me see. I will unmute you. You have, you can answer. You can answer. You can unmute yourself and can talk to me also. Okay. What is the difference between highlighting and cross filtering? Or you can type it in the chat window. What is the difference between highlighting and cross filtering? See, by default in Power BI, the visuals are interactive, right? By default, all the visuals in Power BI are interactive. For example, if I select the technology here, right? So within this category technology, and this corporate segment got highlighted because I just selected this and I just clicked on it. And the relevant value got highlighted across the other stacked bar chart in this case, and including the column chart, combination chart. Yeah, because the cross filtering don't remove unrelated data. No, cross highlighting will not remove the unrelated data. Cross highlighting. See, in this case, I just want to see what is the sales in the technology category under segment corporate. I just selected this one. It shows the relevant value got highlighted across the visuals, and also it displays the unrelated items. That is what cross highlighting, not cross filtering. But in the case of cross filtering, let's say, I just see in the case of cross filtering, when I click on January, it shows only January related data. So the entire visual got recreated, right? So when I click on March, look here, it is getting changed. But if I select any one of them here, cross highlighting is something like, the cross filtering is nothing but the interactivity among the visuals. We use slicer or filter, right? So when we use this one, it applies a filter across all the visuals, okay? The cross highlighting is when you select any specific item in a visual, that relevant item will get highlighted. Rest of the items will get dimmed. For example, if I select the rest of them, get dimmed, but the unrelevant items also displayed here. Okay, that is the difference between cross-editing and cross-filtering. In the case of cross-filtering, it will show only the relevant items. Just remember this. Okay, and the next question is, what is the difference between slicer and filter? Between slicer and filter. Look here, in this case, I can use the slicer to filter the data, or I can go to the filter pane here, and then I can drag and drop the month here. Sorry, the month prefix, I used it, right? So here, okay, in this case, I have used category sales, right? Okay, here, what is the difference between the filter and slicer? So the simple thing, slicer is on canvas visual. It sits on top of your report canvas. Whereas filter is not so interactive, whereas the slicer is more interactive. So when we deliver the report, when we share the report, the end users, when they use it, they'll have to simply go and make a selection here. For that, they don't have to use filter and go and do it, right? So you can have more than one slicer here, right? But whereas here in the filter, what will happen is you have to go to the filter pane manually, and you need to do some kind of selection here, right? You need to do it here. But once you make it again, you need to clear it here, right? And if you want to make a combination of more than one visual or more than one column and all, right, it is not so user friendly. In simple term, the slicer sits on top of your report canvas, whereas the filters or so you need to go to the filter pane and you need to do filtering. That is the difference. And also slicer is very user friendly. The report users can pick and choose whatever they want to display on the visuals. Okay, and there are 4 types of filters are there. Okay, the one is the visual level filters. For example, if I select this visual and filters on this visual will get, this property will get, this type of filter will get activated. If I don't select it, by default, you will find filters on this page, filters on all pages. If you want to apply the filter only on a specific visual, it is possible. But with the slicer, can I do this? Can I apply a filter to a specific visual using a slicer? It is not possible, right? So there are some advantages and disadvantages using the filters and slices, but compared to these two, right, slices are far better still, because it is very user friendly. The report users can pick and choose what they want to be displayed on the visuals. Okay. In some cases, okay, now you tell me what is the difference between these 3 types of filters. For example, if I select this one, visual level filter, so you can apply the filter on a specific visual itself. And the page level filter, if you select if you drag and drop any specific column here, right? So, and when you select a specific category or something, that based on that, right, it will go and filter all the other visuals in your report page. But if you want this filter to be applied across all the pages, then go for filters on all pages. Okay, filters on all pages. So that is the difference. And the next question is, what is the difference between drill down and drill through? Difference between drill and drill through. How many of you can remember it? What is drill up, drill down, and drill through? Drill through is also type of a filter. Okay.
Yes, with drill through, I can think that we can move on to other pages as well. Means on other visuals on other pages if we select particular slicer, right?
Okay. So with drill through, for example, you have a summary page, executive summary page is there. And if you want to see the transaction level, itemized level, if you, so you can navigate to different places, right? One page to another page, if you want to navigate it, you can enable drill through. The advantage of drill through is, for example, for a specific category, if you want to see the itemized sales performance or something like that, so you can create a second page, right? You can create a detail page. From the summary page to detail page, you can navigate from your summary page to detail page. You can navigate using drill through. Once you enable drill through, you can do it. How can you create a drill through? What are the steps involved? You need to create a detail page. Let's say you have a summary page and you have another page called detail page. In the detail page, right, just beneath this drill through, you need to drag and drop the column. Okay, for example, I have a category column. I just drag and drop the category column just beneath the drill through. And in the summary page, automatically, right, in the visual, let's say you've used some category axis in your visual. In that specific visual, if you right click on it, you will find the drill through option got enabled in that contextual menu. And when you click on that, let's say, in that visual, if you let's say, it displays 3 categories, and any specific category, for example, technology, and you have appliances. Let's say you want to see the appliance category detailed information. Just click on the appliance category and right click on it, and where you will find the drill through. When you click on the drill through, it will navigate to the detail page and it will give you the detailed information about the appliances. Let's say you want to see the subcategory, or in the appliances category, what are all the products we sold it, right? Product wise, the detailed information if you want to say it. So basically the drill through will enable you to navigate from the summary page to one page to another page, okay, to display the detailed information, to get the detailed information. And what is drill down? What is drill down?
Drill down is that within a single visual, we can visualize the data at the highest level and lowest level. That is, we can get more details of the data.
Yeah, if you want to view the granular level of the data, right? The detailed data, right? You can use the drill down. Okay, and drill lab. What is drill lab? Rashmi.
Yeah, once we view the granular data, after viewing it, we can just close it. I mean,
so you can tell
it.
them some example. Like, for example, I have a matrix visual. In the matrix visual, we are using three dimensions in row and 3 dimension column field. Okay, and in that case, the drill up icon got enabled on top of the visual. So if you want to drill down from the top of the hierarchy to the next level, it is possible, because in the case of matrix, when you drag and drop more than one column in the row section and column section, automatically the drill up and drill down and expand one level down, expand all expand all in one level down. All these icons will get enabled. So using drill down, we can navigate from the top of the hierarchy to the next level. Okay, so to see the granular detail of the data, right? So you can see this is the drill down. So that is, see, then now the question is, using drill down also you can see the granular level of the data. Using drill through also you can see the detail page. So why can't you use drill down itself? Why do you need to use drill through? The reason is we cannot keep all the visuals in a single page. For example, I have executive summary. In the executive summary already, we are displaying 6 or 7 different visuals. And those visuals display the summary information. Along with the summary itself, if I keep the detail, right, it will be cluttered. That's the reason why we dedicate a separate page for the detailed transaction or itemized level visuals. And summary page will have summary information. If you want to see any summary detailed information, use the drill through. It will take you to the next page. Sometimes being in the single page itself, let's say you are viewing the summary information. I just want to see from the city to state level sales performance. The same the visual itself, you can see it, right? So that is what. So this is visual level. right? This is also visual level, but it will take you from one page to another page, so that you're not going to put all the visuals in a single page. Okay, that is the reason why we are using the drill through options. Okay, the next question is, how do you display month and day in the visual chronological order? In most of the interviews, they ask this question. Okay, how do you see here? What happens is your Friday, Monday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So the report users, they come back with a request saying that, hey, your report shows something like that, but I want this to be displayed starting from, because for us in our country, the weekday starts from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. How do you do this one? I did not cover this one. Any of this question they'll ask you. So this is when it comes to day, it should be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And when it comes to the month, right? January, February, it should display like that. Jan, Feb, it should display in the chronological order like this. Okay, for this, let me just open a report. Okay, here, if you see here, I have created the dimension table like this, dim date. You can specify whatever name that you wanted. So I have used a calendar function, the same thing. Here, the minimum of the sales order date and maximum order date. Okay, here, when I use this one, what happens here is it creates a date column. Okay, and then from the date column, if you want to extract only the year, you can use the year function. Okay, and then this I already discussed, right? And if you want to extract only month from this column, month of dim date of date. And next one is month prefix. Here, we don't have any specific function to extract the name of the month from our date column. So hence we use format function. If you specify MMM, so everything, the entire month name get displayed. And we have some quarter function is readily available. And day, right? For this, I used weekday here. So which day of, for example, the 4th January, right? 4th January is second day of the week or first day of the week, right? So this 4th January is a Tuesday, and obviously it's the second day of this week, right? If it is a 5th January, third day, right? So we want that in number here. So weekday function gives you the which day of the, which weekday, right? This day is, right? Then the date column, which weekday it falls, 4th weekday, right? Thursday. Okay, so you can use weekday dim data. So here there is an option here. Okay, 2. If you specify 2, if you don't specify 2, what will happen is it will say Sunday as 1. The weekday, it will generate the weekday is 1 for Sunday. But in most of the countries, the weekday starts on Monday only. Hence, you need to specify, hey, consider the second thing. So make it second. Okay, don't make it 1. So make it to the dim date. The second option is 2. You specify like this so that for Monday, it will generate weekdays 1. Tuesday, it will. So Monday through. So Monday will start with 1. That is what you need to remember it. So this is that is what the second argument is doing it. Okay, you can probably download this visual. It is available in GitHub also, EX demo. And you can click on each and every column. Look here, DDD. I want the date here and week also. Why I need to extract the day name? Because in the x-axis, they want to see Monday through Friday. What is the sales here? So in this case, the trick is, look here, if I go here, okay, I just apply, okay, I remove the filter here, the slicer, because of which it is getting applied across all the pages. Okay, so now I just go to this page. Look here, this is my clustered column chart. Let me just close this one. This is very much helpful. Here, in order to display this way, right? So look here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it is doing it perfectly here. So why? Because I did something here. Look here. So this is what visual? This is my clustered column, right? So clustered, column chart. Okay. When you select this one gets highlighted. Okay. Okay. Now you understood this is a clustered column chart. And what columns that I used it here, you can see it here, right? In the x-axis and y-axis. In the x-axis, I have used day in text. Okay. What is day in text? This is what the name I have given in the dim date table for the weekdays. Okay. Weekdays should be there in text. Okay. I just dragged and dropped the day in text from here to here. And then the y-axis, look here, sum of sales. This is coming from my sales W04. The y-axis sales, x-axis the weekdays. Okay, how it displays in the chronological order. By default, it will not display like this. By default, it will display something like this: Friday, Monday, because in the alphabetic order, right? F comes first and then only M comes. After M, S comes. We don't want the alphabetic order. We don't want the x-axis to be sorted in alphabetic order. Instead, it should sorted it in chronological order. How it is possible? You select the day in text. Look here. So what I did here, I just selected this column in the data view. Just go to the data view and click on the dim day and day in text. I just selected it here and then look here. You select this column. The next one is go to sort by column and click on day. When you click on day, what will happen is, right, so it will sort the text based on the day. Okay. It is that much simple. Look here, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, it get display something like this. I just remove this here. The same thing I did it for the month. In the case of month prefix, I just selected this one. Look here, month for January, it shows 1, right? I just go to the sort by column and then I selected month. I sort, I sort it by month. The same thing, the Excel, if you try it, right? The same thing you'll say, right? So month, when you select the text and then if you, sort this based on the month, what will happen is you will get this on January, February, March, April, something like that. If I don't do it this way, then it will display the month in x-axis in the alphabetic order. Okay, so that is, we don't need that one. Instead, we want the month to be displayed January, February, March, something like that. Okay, and similarly for the weekday, month, Tuesday, something like that. So what answer you are going to say? What is the answer for this? And I will explain that how to display month and day in the usual in a chronological order. So in our date dimension column, we have a weekday column. Okay, and the weekday displays which week it displays the weekday, right? Which weekday on the specific date is, right? For this, we have extracted the weekday using weekday function, and then we have the day in text column. So for this, we have used format function to extract the name of the weekday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday. But I selected the day in text, and then in the data view, right, we have something sort by column. I sorted the day column. Similarly, I selected the month prefix, and then I just went to the sort by column and I clicked on month. Okay, automatically it got displayed the months in chronological order. In the case of the weekly report, the weekday in text got sorted in chronological order. Got it? This is the one. This one question they will ask you. Okay, and what is the difference between row level security and dynamic row level security? First of all, what is row level security? Row level security in Power BI, we use it to restrict the data access for given users. Let's a person by the name of John. John is responsible to view only the North region data. And the other guy name is Chris. Chris is responsible to view only the South region data. You want to filter the data row level. Okay, and then so basically it filters the restricted data. You're giving the restricted data access to the users. Not all the users should see all the regions data. It is not required for them. Okay, and we have three different types of security. One is the static row level security and dynamic row level security. Other one is object level security. Object level security, you cannot implement it directly. We need to use some other tool that we will see it later. So in that case, they cannot see the table at all. Okay, now let us take a look at row level security. What is row level security? First of all, let me open another thing. So, demo. I just go here. Also, you can take a look at my other video. Anyhow, I'm going to show you how I did it. This is one of the commonly asked questions, but still you can tell them, no, you are not, you don't have privilege to configure everything. But still, we used to help our on-site lead to create the row level security, from our Power BI desktop and all. I'm just checking the file name here. So already I have, so that we are running already short of time. Can you see row level security here? Security. It should be here. See, look here, row level security, dynamic row level security, already discussed. I just go here to check the file name that I used it to give ex demo security, right? Okay, ex underscore. Yeah, it is a PBX file, not XLS file. So this is the one. Okay, it is already there. So till it opens, we can use this one itself. Okay, or let it open. You need to select the text column and then go to the sort by column. in the menu option, right? And you need to select the weekday column in the case of displaying the values in chronological order, okay? For the weekday, the same thing, you need to follow it for the month also. I clicked it twice. Okay, in the modeling tab, right? In the modeling tab, you have something called manage roles. Once you open the Power BI desktop, you know very well, modeling tab. When you need to click on the modeling tab and click on the manage roles. When you click on the manage roles, what will happen is I just show it because in the interest of time. There you have something called create roles. Look here, when you see in the modeling tab, just in the modeling tab, you will find create roles. When you click on this, it will open something like manage roles. Here, simply click on create. Look here, South region, Central region, North region. Like is whatever the roles that you want to give it, right? You can give the role name here, some meaningful name. Okay. And then what you need to do is here, look here, and the region equal to North, something like that. So basically we are doing the filtering here. Okay. So you are defining. Okay. So I just created North region by clicking on this one. On the right side, look here, you need to, and then see, you need to create the role name. In this case, I create the role name as North region. And then here the table name is sales W04. In this table, I go and select the column region. Region is equivalent to North. I mentioned it here. Sometimes you might be asking, okay, this role should give, Southeast region. Right? In that case, region equal to South, and then double pipe symbol, single quote you need to give East, Southeast. Okay. 1 second. If this opens, I'll just show you here itself. Yeah, it got open. Good. See, in the modeling tab, the first step is go to the modeling tab and then click on the manage roles. It's not a create roles. Yeah, it's a manage roles. Look here, what I did. Look here, I created already. You need to click on the create and then give some name. So look here, the simple thing. When you click on this one, sorry, I just click on this and delete it. So you can give some name like the Southeast region. Something like that. And then you need to select this table, Southeast, and here you go here, add filter, and in here you need to say region. Region is equal to value. Here you need to say South or East. Pipe symbol. You need to use pipe symbol and copy paste the same thing. Okay, and that is what I did it here. Look here, the same thing, right? North, something like that. So in that case, what will happen is it'll filter South region as well as the East. When you assign this role to someone,
yeah.
Who is that? Can you please go on mute? Right, that's how you need to create it. Okay, and I don't know where the country it is there here, right? I just put you all in mute. Right, you need to create it. Supposing you want to create a role wherein it should filter both the regions data, like South or regions. In between, you need to give the or. This is nothing but or, either this or this. In that case, it will select only these two regions for this role. So once you created the role, you can assign this role to a specific user so that that user, when they log into cloud, and they should be able to view only these two region data. Similarly, look here in the south region, and I just selected, already I mentioned here, central region. You need to click on here, central here. The first step is go to the modeling tab and click on the manage rows and click on create. And here you create whatever the name that you want it for your role. And then you need to map this role with your table name. Okay, the table name column. Okay, region. You want to filter the south region, or you want to filter it by country. You can specify it. The country filtering condition you need to specify it here. That's all. Once you are done with it, you click on save, and then you have an option here in the home page. Earlier I showed you publish button. When you click on this, this report will get published on the cloud. Okay, you can test it, the row level security, all the things on the cloud only. Look here, I already logged into the Power BI cloud. I publish this report under dev_order workspace. Workspace is nothing but your folder. Look here in the dev_order. In this workspace, you can see the dev retail report. I already published it. When you know very well, when you publish a report on cloud, the data will also get published automatically. We don't have to explicitly publish the data because the data are available in this report itself, right? Okay, now you need to go to the data, right? So instead of the report, you need to select this demo retail report data and click on the ellipses and click on the security. Okay, and here I'm going to select North region. Just next to the North region, we can see the 3 dot and test as role. And now let us see in my report, it filters only the North region. Look here on the right side bottom, you can see the region, right? Rest of them were sales by segment, all the things. And region, you can see it here. See, look here, the region North. It filtered only the North region. Okay, I just go and check it for this South region. Okay, in the South region, I just gave, the user should be able to, see, this is a role. When you assign the role to a specific user, right, that user should be able to see only the South region data. And when I click on the test as role, if you see here, you can see the South region. It is doing perfect job. The first step is go to the modeling tab in your Power BI desktop and click on the manage role and create the role and map that role with some filtering condition. And then you need to publish it on cloud. And the next step is you need to test it out here, right? So you need to test it out for each role, whether it is correctly filtering the appropriate data or not. Yes, it is doing perfect job. This is called your row level filtering. Okay, and here in this case, what happened? We have used. Okay, so this is how we need to create the row level security. Okay, so what is row level security? Using which you can restrict the user to access the intended data. They are not supposed to see the entire data. But you know very well, filtering is always best, right? That's the best practice. If you filter the subset of the data, the performance is faster, especially if you have huge volume of data. If you allow every user to view the entire data, it will consume too much of memory and it will take a longer time to refresh the data, everything. Okay, fine. The next one is the DAX interview questions. So they will ask you, did you work on which DAX function that you have used it in your project? So you can tell them the calculate function. That is one of the fundamental, that is one of the basic and robust function that is available in DAX, the calculate function. Okay. So what is calculate function in DAX? What does it do? What is the use of calculate function? How many of you remember it? DAX is very much important. What is calculate function? Okay, so you know very well, right? You can see in the interview, they ask you how many DAX function that you used it. See, without knowing these answers, if you ask me to take your profile directly with the customer, right, it will not be good. For example, hardly we are getting 2 or 3. Believe me or not, I'm getting calls from other people, outside people, public. They are saying, they say, sir, I have got a 5-year experience and 10-year experience, 8 years experience. There are guys, they are very smart. But when I ask them questions, they give answer fat. Okay. But thing is, they are saying that, sir, I'm not getting any interview. I published my report, sir, my not report. I published my resume on Naukri and other job portal. I'm, for the last 3 months, I'm not getting any call. The reason what I'm saying is, once you get an interview, it is like, a serious one. It is not sum of amount, okay? A sum of amount in a filter. You can use filter function, right? What is calculate function? Calculate function will evaluate your expression based on the filter context. Using calculate function, you can perform the context transition from row level context to column level filter context. Okay, you can do that. Please watch my videos in the DAX thing. It's very, very important. They will ask you this kind of DAX. The calculate is one of the important functions in Power BI. Okay, the calculate function. Okay, and the next question is okay. Other simple question: what is the difference between calculated column and measure? What is calculated column? What is measure? What is the difference between these two? First, you tell me what is calculated column. Google, na? You can Google it and tell, right? Shweta. Bangalore Shweta. I'm asking about Bangalore Shweta. So what is calculate function? What is row level context? What is or what is calculated column? So calculated column
of a table.
Yeah, we create the columns, right? So you create a calculated column based on the existing columns in our data set. For example, you have the simple example, right? The bookish example, like quantity into price will give the sales amount. You want to compute the sales amount for each transaction. For each transaction, so order transaction, I'm talking the order transaction. Each order transaction, you want to find out the sales amount. Whereas in your data set, you have the order ID, order date, customer ID, everything is there, but it doesn't have the sales amount. But you have the list price and quantity in the price. Okay, and you want to, if you want to create a new column, not the new data, if you want to create the new column in addition to the existing column, so you can use a calculated column. So once you create a calculated column based on some formula, right? What will happen is this column will become part of your data set. So the calculated column will, get stored in memory. It gets stored in memory. So what is measure? What is the difference between calculated column and measure?
Sir, calculated column are the part of a table, whereas measures are not the part of a table.
Very good.
And calculated column is memory intensive, whereas measure is CPU intensive.
Superb.
And calculated column gives multiple results, whereas measure gives only one value. And whereas calculated column has row context.
Very good. Superb. Right. And how about a measure? So can't we perform row context using measure?
No, measures, it reacts to filter context.
Filter context. But how about, so when you say this one, I know this leads to another question. What is the difference between sum and sum x function? What is x function? X function and all the function that ends with x, these are all called iterative function. Let's say in my measure, if I use sum x function, will that do row level calculation, or does it do the column level thing? What is the difference? First of all, you tell me what is the difference between sum and sum x.
Sum and sum x both are same, sir. It gives the same result actually, but sum x is expression. No, we have a sugar syntax where sum and sum x are used for the same purpose. SumX takes the expression, whereas the first argument should be a table.
Very good. Okay. The second argument is your what? Your expression, right? So SumX function takes two arguments. One, the first argument is a table name. Second argument is your expression. Okay. What is so special about the SumX function compared to sum?
SumX is iterating. It calculates row by row.
So can't I use SumX function in my measure?
Yes, we can.
Okay, but you said measure we can
Context.
do only the filter context. We cannot do row level, row context, right? Right? Okay. Okay. So now all of you understood, right? The measure, when you create a measure, it is a CPU intensive, whereas the calculated column memory intensive, because when you create any calculated column, the values will get stored in memory along with the other columns. Okay. And it is memory intensive, especially if the volume of the data is very high, it will consume a lot of memory. Whereas why do you call measure as CPU intensive?
Measure is dynamic, so it is not stored. When we call the measure, it gets computed then and there. So it is CPU intensive.
Okay, very good. So only when you drop the measure into your visual, it will get invoked, right? Whatever the DAX functions, whatever the logic that you use it, that one will get computed on the fly. Okay, and if the volume of the data is very high, and if the complex of the business logic is, if the business logic is a bit complex, right? It will take time to perform the computation. Okay, hence it is CPU intensive. This one will get calculated on the fly. Okay, and the calculator column is part of the table, whereas measure is not part of the table. And if you want to see the value of the measure, you need to drop the measure into your visual. Only then you can see it. Okay, and now you tell me what is calculate function. Rashmi, very good. Okay, so what is calculated? What is calculate function? So using calculate function, we can evaluate an expression with a modified filter context. With a modified filter context. This is what I explained you all in detail in my DAX function, right? So in the DAX session, I explained you the difference between all function, all except, all selected, and keep filter, remove filter, all the things, right? I explained you that one. See, the calculate function, what it does is helps you to modify the filter context. Using calculate function, you can create a new filter or you can modify the existing filter. Okay. Okay. What is all function and all except function?
All function is used to remove all the previous filters.
All the filters, right? Including the internal and external filters. It removes all the filters. Okay. What is all except?
All except remove the filters except for the specified columns, except columns.
Okay. Remove all the remove the filters from all the columns except the column that you mentioned in your all except function. Okay. And give me a scenario where you have used all function, all selected function, all except function. Okay. Before that, tell me one thing. Can I use all function directly upfront?
No.
Use the all function?
No, it is not standalone function. It has to be used along with calculate function.
Yeah, you need to wrap the all function using calculate only. Using calculate function only, you can call the all function, all except function, and including the cross filter function, use relationship function. You cannot call it directly because it's not standalone. So you need another function, helper function. Okay, the calculate using which only you can call these functions, all function, all selected, all except, keep filter, remove filter, everything. Okay, and also so you can do that, right? Fine, good. So the next question is something like I think what is bookmark? What is bookmark? This is commonly asked questions in the visual data visualization, right? We have discussed about bookmark.
It helps to it is used to capture the report,
current state of the report.
current state of report, which
So
includes
what is
slides.
what is the advantage of bookmark? You said using bookmark. See, you are reading a book, and suddenly somebody is calling you, right? And what you do is you take a pen or something, and then you keep it in that page, and then you close the book, and you go and go and open the door, so that when you come back, you can go to the page where whichever you were reading it, right? Quickly, right? It's something like see, you can the same thing, the same analogy here, right? It's applicable here. Okay, the bookmark. So using bookmark, you can make your reports very dynamic. Okay, so the moment when you click a bookmark, you can see the appropriate report in the same page. In a single page, if you want to see different reports, right? By clicking the specific bookmark, you can see the reports related to that bookmark. For example, South region sales, you have applied the filter using the slicer for a South region, and then you click on the bookmark, and then you name it as South region. And then what you do is you go back to your report canvas and you select North region, and then you go to the bookmark and you create a name called North region, North, South, East, West region. All the 7 regions you created, right? By applying different filters, but each bookmark is related to different regions. Okay, each region. So you just think that way. Supposing you want to view the North region, you can go and click on the North region. So by using bookmark, we can make our reports more dynamic, right? So for this, you don't have to create 10 regions. You don't have to create 10 reports. The single page itself, by selecting any specific bookmark, you can see the related report in the same page. And also you can, once you create a bookmark, using which you can create a slide view, right? Slideshow view. With bookmark, you can enable the users to have a slideshow view. Okay, it's not that easy to get that information. Or not, it is the bookmark is helps us to so enable the dynamic, right? If you want to see if you want to make your report very dynamic, right? And also if you want to give the slideshow view, it is possible with bookmark. Okay, how can we give the slideshow view? I have explained you, right? You just watch my video. So these are the things they will ask you. What is bookmark? And okay, next question is the time intelligence questions. Let's say I have a scenario. I want to compare my current year sales with the same period last year. Which function you use it in time intelligence? What all functions are available to do that? I want to, let's I have 3 year sales. I can see 3 year sales in my visual. Simple table visual. I can see 2018, 19, 20. But along with each year, I want to see the previous year sales. I want to side by side comparison, year on year sales. I want to compare it. What is current year sales? So what is the current year sales? What is the previous year sales? Oh yeah, so that also I want to see it. Okay, let's go step by step. So I want to see my current year sales with the same period last year. Which function can I use it? Same period last year, right? That is what we discussed in the last session. Same period last year, you can use it. And we have another function called parallel period. Parallel period. Then what is the difference between same period and parallel period? Parallel period, with parallel period, you can go 1 year back or 2 year back. Whereas with same period, you can go only 1 year back. You cannot go to more than 1 year back. Okay, you want to see previous year sales and prior to previous year sales. If you want to see it, then parallel period function is very much helpful. That is what I discussed and in the last session, right? And also I distinguished, these 3 functions. And also we have date function, date add function, right? So you need to look at this one. In the intro, they'll ask you this question: what is the difference between sum and sumx function? Both of them are same. When you use sum function, using sum function, you can perform column level aggregation. But behind the scene, what Power BI does is it translates the sum function into SumX function. Okay, then then why we need to see if the sum function get translated as SumX function? Then why should I use sum function? Can't I use SumX itself to find out the summary of a specific column? You can use SumX, but in the case SumX, you need to the first argument is specify table name, and the second argument you specify the numeric or the quantitative variable column name. But instead, if you use sum function, you don't have to specify the table name, right? Simply specify the column name there. So, but again, you need to specify the table name inside the parenthesis. You need to specify the column name. Okay, but here only one argument is required in the case sum function. But behind the scene, it gets translated as SumX only. But the sum is, it's kind of a syntax sugar. You don't have to write the syntax in a detailed or in elaborative manner. Instead, you can use a sum function. Okay, but using sum function, you can perform aggregation on a single column only. But using SumX function is kind of an iterative function. Any function that ends with X is an iterative function. It does the row by row, computation. SumX function. Now you tell me, what is the difference between calculate and calculate table? Calculate and calculate table. So calculate, as the name suggests, the calculate table function returns a function. So using calculate table function also, we can apply the filter context. Okay, calculate table function returns a table, and we have a function called filter function. The filter function also returns a table. Then what is the difference between calculate table and filter? Both of them returns a table, right? But with calculate table, the advantage is it does the filter context, whereas filter function, with filter function alone, you cannot do the filter context. It just simply return the table. So you can use filter function in your calculate function, or even in SumX also you can use the filter function. Okay, the difference between calculate and calculate table is calculate table returns a table. Filter also returns a table, but in the case of calculate, it doesn't return the table. Okay, it simply modifies the filter context, right? And it performs any aggregation with the modified filter context. In simple term, using calculate function, you can create a new filter, and you can modify an existing filter. These are the things that you can do it with calculate function. And also like a standalone function, right? You can call the standalone functions using calculate function. These are the advantages of calculate function. That's the reason why calculate function is, it's one of the important function in DAX. And how do you do summarization using DAX? How do you do the summarization in DAX? How do you do summarization? How do you do group by? How do you do group by in DAX? Using DAX, how do you do a group by? Summarize function, right? I discussed about summarize function. Does summarize function returns a table? Yes, it returns a table, right? And summarize, using which you can do. See, using summarize function, you can do group by. What is the roll up function? So along with summarize, right? As part of summarize function, we used roll up. How many of you remember it? Let me just go and check. I think I covered it to you all, right? I know very well, right? So most of you are working people and you are very busy, but what to do? Power BI weekend night batch, right? Because the last one, I think, yeah, we discussed about summarize, roll up everything, rank X and top end function. And rank X also they will ask. If you take any analytics project, we do ranking. And then we do the roll up also. Okay, what we will do is, it's already 8 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to wrap up the session now. we will have one more round of interview preparation session. We'll discuss other interview questions posed by other students in my previous batches. Okay. And weekdays is pretty difficult, right? We will plan it accordingly. Okay. In the meanwhile, please watch from the bottom to up. Okay. This is very important. See here also, I did not cover so many things, but these are the important functions, basic functions. Understand that each and every functions functionality, and also understand when to use, what kind of scenarios they'll ask you. I've asked you this question, Rashmi, why don't you tell me this one? So what kind of scenario you use all function, all except? This alone you can tell me. See, all function remove the filter. For example, in my visual, table visual, so I want to display each region or each category related sales, right? Category wise sales, I want to display it. Okay. Along with that, I wanted to display the percentage of sales in each category. I want to display it. So in that case, when I use all function, it removes all the filters and it gives me all the three categories total sales. Let's say in my case, right, calculate function, the first argument is sum of sales. Okay. So what happens is it gives the total sales for all the three categories put together, and it displays all these, it displays the total sales for all the three categories put together, along with each category. For example, total sale is 4 lakh. In each category sale is, let's assume that 2 lakhs, okay, or 6 lakhs. Total sales is 6 lakh. In each category put together, right, 2 lakhs is there. So in the table visual, category 1, 2 lakhs, category 2, 2 lakhs, category 3, 2 lakhs, and the total sales is 6 lakhs. So these 6 lakhs will get repeated across the rows for these three columns, right? Category 1, along with this 2 lakhs, because the first column is sum of sales amount, and second column is the all function I used in the calculate function. Okay, and here it gives me 6 lakh, 6 lakh, so that when you divide each category sales amount by this total sales value, you will get the percentage of contribution by each category in terms of sales amount. You will get it, right? Remember it. You just look here. I just click on it. Look here, how I computed this percentage, right? How did I compute this percentage? And again, see here, if I want to find out the percentage using all selected, what is the difference between percentage of sales all and percentage of sales all selected? They'll ask you this, and see, they'll ask you what is what, and they'll ask you to give the scenario. So when did you use all function? With all function, since all function removes both the internal and external filters, we can leverage all function to display the total sales value across the rows. Here, okay, in the previous page, I have it. Look here. Here I just displayed. Yeah, this is the one, right? See here, we have this many categories are there. All these categories put together, the total value is 456K. This 456K across the rows it displays. The advantage of this one is, right? So if I take this value and divide it by this value, I can get the percentage. And 403K divided by 456K, this is the percentage I'm getting it, 88%. See, in the case of Excel, it is pretty simple. You can take each value and divide by the total value. But you cannot do the same thing because that feature is not available here. Instead, what you do is you repeat the total sales value along with each category sales. And then what you do is this measure is already there, right? We create a separate measure called all measure. And what now you need to use a divide function. There's a divide function. Divide the sales amount, comma, all measure. So what will I mean? This one will divide by this one, It'll give you the percentage so that you will get to know what is the contribution of each category in terms of sales, right? You will get to see that. For that purpose, I have used all measure. And when did you use all except? All except, it ignores all the filter. In this case, we have used all except category. Hence, it repeats the same thing. Okay. It removes all the filter except the column, whatever I mentioned it, right? So since I mentioned category, it is not removing the filter. It simply display this value. Now the question is when you can use all except measure. What kind of scenario you can use it? So why do you need to use all except? Instead, you can display this one itself, right? So you need to have answer for this one. For example, the simple example is in the all except function. I'm inside the all except function, I'm using a filter condition, or I'm using an expression wherein I'm filtering based on the Bangalore region. Hence, I can see the Bangalore sales breakdown by category here. Let's say 200. Let's say 103. So Bangalore is different, right? In Bangalore, in each category, how much we sold, that will be displayed. Along with this, we can see the total sales we made in each category. Total sales across all the region, how much we made. Okay, that we can say. Bangalore alone, how much. You can do this, one of the examples, right? You can see some management want to see this one. And other one is all selected. When can you use all selected? Supposing you are using an external, you are applying an external filter using slicer. Which is a slicer, you are making a selection, beverages and frozen foods alone. So beverages and frozen foods comes around 2,486. The total is 2,486. And in the case of all selected, whatever the values are displayed in the visual, right? The total for the the values that are displaying in your visual, only that one will get repeated here. So how much? For example, 400 plus 2,286, 2,486 will get repeated across the rows, so that you will get to know what is the percentage of what is the sales contribution across all the categories of beverages is 0 and dairy is 0.88. In the case of all selected, the advantage is what is the sales contribution, right? For these two categories, out of the two categories, total sales, beverages and frozen foods, 2,486. And out of this 2,486, what is the contribution of beverage? What is the contribution of frozen foods? So you can display it. That percentage you can display it here. It's a very simple one. You need to spend some time. Okay, you need to spend some time. See, first you spend only these, the first and this video and this video. That is more than sufficient. Most of the questions it will come around. This is a fundamental thing. Only when you understand this one, rest of the DAX function you can understand. But understanding the context, count family of function, the sum function, average family of functions are pretty simple. But there are some difference between one function to another function. But understanding them is pretty simple. But this is very, very important, fundamental concept. With this only you can do advanced analytics. Fine, it is already 8:10. Okay, sorry guys, I took more time than what I promised. Okay, so we will plan one more session, and then this week randomly I'll send you a message, and I'll ask you if you are available for a mock interview. And see, in this session itself, I can understand still you need to prepare well. See, this is not other other job. Here, every day you need to practice it. At least every alternate day. Still you master it. You need to practice it and practice how to deliver it at the time of interview. The interview should be able to understand. Your presentation should be crisp and clear, right? If you too much of if too much of wordy thing, right, it will not be good. Okay, try to make it crisp and give some examples, more than one examples. And we will discuss some other set of questions in the next round, and I will get back to you after getting the convenient time from you all. Okay, we will set up another call, and till you get practice, we will have one more round of, we will increase the number of rounds of interview preparation session, and mock interview will happen in between. I'll call you randomly. There is no point in rushing, right? With this knowledge, limited knowledge, if you go, definitely you will mess up, and that will lead to some kind of, complex. Man, I don't think it's my cup of tea. Better I will live with my current job. You'll think like this. It's not a rocket science. Don't worry. Keep preparing it. Keep watch my video. Okay. And in the next session, we'll discuss about the more dynamic related thing. How do I perform dynamic top end, dynamic conditional formatting? If you want, you can do some Googling, watch other YouTube video also. I will explain that also. But remember, whatever we discussed so far as part of today's session, that is fine. Okay. And still, you need some more level of interview preparation. We'll discuss this. See, they'll ask the questions like, as part of data transformation, what are the transformation that you did it? These are the common questions they'll ask. Okay, what is the difference between merge and append? Now itself I can tell you why. One more session. What is the difference between merge and append? What is transpose? What is pivoting and unpivoting? This is a simple question they'll ask. Using transpose, you can do both. You can convert your rows into columns and columns into rows with transpose. Whereas with pivoting, you can convert your rows into columns. Unpivoting is the opposite, columns to rows if you want to convert unpivoting. And what is merge and append? Append is union all. In SQL, yeah, we have one more topic, SQL Server, right? If possible, we'll wrap it. If you guys okay or okay, right? Weekdays itself, we will plan it. What is the difference between union all and append? Both of them are same. In the SQL world, we use union all to join more than one table data, whereas in the case of append, it does the union all. But in the case of SQL query, you have union and union all. Union is something like A union B. It removes the duplicate. Union all, also doing the A union B, but it retains the duplicate. Similarly, in the case of Power Query Editor, when you do append, it will combine multiple files in a single file, but it will not make sure that removing the duplicates. Okay. It will retain the duplicates. And what are the prerequisites for append? Number of columns in all the files should be same. The order of the columns should also be same. And the data type should also be same. Even if the order of the column is not same, still it will work, but sometimes it may fail. For example, in the first file, the third column is numeric variable, but in the second file, the third column is text. When you combine these two things, it will fail. This is the prerequisite. And merge, when we'll using merge, we can perform all SQL-like operations, left outer join, right outer join, inner join, and left anti-join, right anti-join. What is left anti-join? Can someone tell me? Rashmi, why don't you tell? I think you are preparing very well. From your talks, I understood. What is left anti-join?
Left anti-join returns the values. Let's suppose we are left anti-join is, okay, it returns the values from the left table, and it excludes the common values with the right table. That means it returns only the values in the left table.
Yeah, it returns only the values from the left table
and common
that are not available, that are not matching with your right side table, in simple term. It returns the left side table's data that are not matching with your right side table. In the same thing, can we do it in SQL? Minus.
Yes, yes, A minus,
right? A minus B. Yeah. Right? So that is the thing. And B minus your right anti-join. See, in Power BI, instead of minus, they say anti-join. That's all. Fine. Okay. We are done with that. And probably I will share a couple of other questions also. And you can watch my website. Okay. In the website, I put all the interview questions. Anyhow, I will consolidate all the questions posed by my past batch students. And I will share that to you also. You can go through on it and be prepared for this. So they'll ask you importantly the bookmark and importantly dashboard where you have to talk. Definitely, we need to have one more interview preparation session. We'll come back to later. In between, whatever I covered, right, after this, I will call you individually randomly, and we will have at least 1 hour discussion, okay, to see what is your comfort level and help you to improve wherever you lack. You need to start prepare very well. Okay. All right, I'm going to end this session now. It's already too late. Even I work today. I have a lot of other meetings are there. We will continue probably. I'll get back to you about the time and date. Okay, fine.
Will you please share this video also?
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.